edition of 10 awesome songs that you may not know or remember. Thanks to a wonderful window issue here in the studio, this could be a little bit louder than usual, thanks to the lovely ambient noises of city living. So if you hear a little bit of extra stuff, I apologize. Also, I need to announce that there is a format change here. Instead of counting down from 10 to 1, we should have been counting up this whole entire time, considering we are now going to be talking about the songs number 91 through 100. So if you see big numbers all of a sudden, that would be the reason why. So let's get started. We're going to be doing it that way from here on out. Let's get going. Song number 91 is the Gabriel Construct with the song A Fear of Humanity. This is from Interior City, which is an avant-prog album from 2013 with a very interesting cover, as you can see. This is one that's really kind of bridges the gap between avant-garde music as well as progressive music, and really uses the greatness of their leaders' vocals, the strength of their vocals, not to mention also the strength of their overall composition, really to their benefit. This is something that at times will remind you of some classical compositions, but then will also kind of bridge the gap and remind you of bands anywhere between Pain of Salvation or Model Into the Well, and sometimes even bridging the gap into other territory as well, traditional progressive territory. Fantastic song, often underappreciated and not very well known project. There's a link in the description box for you guys to check out this album in its entirety, so definitely check that one out. Song number 92, we have Super 8 with the song Pain. This is an alternative song that was featured prominently as the ending credits to Night Watch, which was a film, and is also featured on their self-titled album, Super 8. This is a great track that some people will also compare to Pain of Salvation, based around the fact that it kind of has some of that crazy vocal compositional structure that you'd hear from Daniel from POS. However, instead, this is one that's more maintained toward the alternative lifestyle or the alternative music scene that you heard in the 1990s, where it just seemed like everything or anything went. This is something that definitely encourages that construct. It has a bit of a darker theme to it and a darker sound to it. It's definitely a killer track. Number 93, song number 93 is Hobbit Motherfuckers from Turbonegro. You might wonder where the hell is the little album box. There's your album box right there, motherfuckers. This is off of Ass Cobra, and these guys are basically Norway's foremost punk band, and it's one that has a glam punk overtone to it, and this is just a really fun album to listen to. Ass Cobra is, not to mention a lot of their other stuff. This was given to me by a fan here in the nation, so I'm very, very thankful for that. Now for bonus points, if you really want to check out something even cooler and kind of 6 degrees of inner turbulence or 6 degrees of inner, Kevin Bacon, 50 Shades of fucking ridiculous, so this even further, go and check out the Dissonance cover of this very song. It's pretty good as well. Song number 94, we have Tie Jonathan Down by the band Videodrone, which is also, at one point was called Cradle of Thorns, I believe, before this, and they were more of a gothic rock band. But now, with Tie Jonathan Down, this is more of an industrial project that reminded more people of something closer to the nu metal scene that you heard from the latter portions of that time. Some people compare them a little bit to Orgy, which I feel is a bit unfair, considering Orgy is a little bit more upbeat and up-tempo with their industrial side, if you can believe that. Whereas this track, which features Jonathan Davis, is one that just really maintains its weirdness and does so very, very nicely. On a side note, did you know that a member of Orgy at one point in time was a member of, it was a 1980s band. It was more like a glam metal band. It was crazy. Whenever I found that out, it blew my mind. But Tie Jonathan Down is off of Videodrone's self-titled disc, which was the only disc that they were able to produce under that name. It's pretty cool if you like that era of music. If you're really not a big fan of that scene, then this may not be for you. Song number 95 might be for you, though, and that is A Fine Day to Die from Bathory. This is off of Bloodfire Death from 1988, pagan/black metal, if you really want to call it that. It's extreme metal back then, baby. And this is a tremendous track from probably one of the granddaddies of the genre, and one that certainly eclipses all expectations. It's one that does have a little bit of a recording quality that could definitely say it's nursing a little bit, considering it is a little bit soft, but at the same time it is just heavy and aggressive and just fantastic as fuck. This is one that really expands the horizons of what Bathory was going to be all about from this point forward in their career. A longer track, one that certainly showcased the diversity and the overall divinity that this band was slated and destined to possess. Fantastic track off of an amazing album. Highly recommend it. Number 96, song number 96, is Dissidents in Design with their song Between Space and Time. This is progressive death metal from 2013. The album is entitled Sentient. And I really like this band, and not to mention this song, simply because it has a great sense of presence of itself. It uses its space very fully and very wisely. Whenever you think of progressive death metal, you immediately think of bands such as Opeth, either that or perhaps you think of a couple of others. But with Dissidents in Design, they have sort of their own identity to them within this narrowly constructed subgenre of heavy metal music, and it's one that is done very, very nicely. I think that Sentient is an album that just not enough people really heard about, either that or not enough people were able to check out. So if you have the opportunity and you like progressive death metal, then you're definitely going to want to scope out this band. They may just become your next favorite. So we move on to song number 97. 97 is Through Eyes of Glass by Forbidden, which is off of the track, or the album rather, Forbidden Evil. Through Eyes of Glass is the track. Forbidden Evil and Forbidden, it is a thrash metal band, as you might be able to figure out at this stage of the game. They are a classic group, part of the second wave of thrash metal from the latter portions of the 1980s and the first portion of the 1990s. A group that is oftentimes, sometimes overlooked by thrash metal fans and people describing the genre whenever they certainly should not be. These guys are fantastic. Not to mention they are very, very good live, extremely tight sound, all the classic hallmarks of thrash metal from the late 1980s, first portion of the 1990s from the second wave. Just check this out. Do yourself the favor. I don't have to tell you anything more. Track number 98 is Huuto by Moonsorrow. I'm shocked I didn't put this in the 10 epics that you don't know about, considering I don't think a lot of you probably do know about this song. This is from just a couple of years ago, 2012, I recall, maybe 2011. And this album actually was the co-album of the year. I would tell you the name, but I would fuck it up, so we're not going to do that. Moonsorrow is just a great band, considering they, like I mentioned, with Dissonance in Design, really have a presence among themselves, have a very unique take on their brand of folk, pagan, black, whatever the fuck you want to call it, epic metal. It's epic. That's what the fuck it is. It's huge. It's dynamic. It's great. And because they have this uniqueness to them, all of these songs come off with just this majestic feel, like you're going to battle, either that or you're going on a quest or a journey, and it gives you that feeling just through the music by itself. But once the lyrics kick in, once the lyricism becomes present, man alive, does that become even more dynamic, because it's like not only are you going on the journey, but it's being narrated behind you as you are living it. Awesome song by an awesome group. If you haven't checked out Moonsorrow by now, do yourselves the favor. That brings us to song number 99, which is Grand Magus with Hammer of the North. This is just straight up heavy metal. Some people would even call this a little bit doom-related. Hammer of the North is off of the 2010 album of the same name, which I did a little research. I thought this was just going to be a random pick, but these guys actually made the top 25 list in 2010 here on the coverkillernation channel. Whoops, can't believe I forgot about that. But these guys are a very solid callback to the traditional heavy metal, and they're just a really solid band. Hammer of the North is just part of a really solid disc in its namesake that just blends that heavy metal culture of old with a little bit of doom-style riffing, and overall it makes me think of a heavier and a little bit less stoner-influenced version of, say, like bands such as The Sword, which is just a fantastic, fantastic tribute. And then we get to song number 100. We're 100 songs in to this series already. It's amazing to think, and we have to go with a bona fide classic, one that many of you may know, but some of you may not remember. And that's Windir with Martyrium off of Lichtfried from 2003. I probably ruined that name, and I apologize to Balthar for that. May he rest in peace. Viking black metal real Bathory vein to this. Just really fantastic work. Love the furious ripping that is actually all over this album. This is not something that's really just based off of one status quo song, such as Martyrium. This is just a phenomenal song. It's one that really got me into this band whenever I first discovered them more than 12 years ago, and I have been sort of obsessed with them ever since. They're just a fantastic act that were gone too soon due to the tragic death of their leader, Balfour. It's just a very, very sad thing. Even though we have Vreed thanks to this group, I still would love to have Windir because they were just a phenomenal and very groundbreaking band. One that definitely has influenced many groups within this subtext and subgenre, but one that easily could have had a much wider berth to their real influence had that death not occurred. There you have it, 10 awesome songs you may not know or may simply just not remember. We are now 100 songs into this, our first century. Right? Yeah, sure. Why not? My brain hurts, principally because I'm judging between my material and listening to the lovely car noises of Uniontown. You didn't just hear that. I'm going to edit that out. Maybe I won't. Join us next time for another 10 awesome songs where we may have a theme. I don't know. Probably won't. It'll just be 10 more songs that you may not know or you may not remember, so you definitely are going to want to stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. That way you know whenever the next episode shows up. Coverkiller Nation, I'm out of here.